Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, 9th August. It's just about 20 past 11 in the morning. So today what I'm going to be catching up on is basically some of the information I came out with. So if you have a look, a video posted out on Monday, and let me just throw it up for you guys here. Video coming out on Monday basically talked very clearly about some of our trading plans, what we're having a look at for the week, that we are going to be looking into. So if you can see here, we've just got trade ideas, US dollar weakening, Twitter earnings recovery, and more. So there were quite a few ideas. There's the link to our trading plan down below that you can have a look at. And let me just show you. So go have a look at that video, because that's just basically talking about our trade ideas, why we came up with what we came up with, that is now working so well for us. So it's also going to show you a few of my positions that I have open. You can also see that we have also opened up a few hedged positions. So this is the retail account that I'm running on. Like I said to you all the time, I use the retail account just because I teach a whole lot of students that are only also starting out with $1,000 or $2,000. So I use the same account so that they can see how I manage a small account. And, you know, if I had a $300,000 account up right now, it's not really going to make a lot of sense just chatting to you about, you know, the money I'm making. So my institutional accounts, I actually outperformed a little bit more than what I'm currently doing. I picked a lot better entry points, and I was lucky to do that because I didn't have to hedge the positions. But basically, some of these positions were hedged. So we've closed out a few of the hedge positions. As an example, Euro US dollar, on this entry point, we had a buy order as well. We've closed that buy order out as well. We had a few other buy orders on Aussie dollar, US dollar as well. You can see I've actually covered the position with a stop loss because I'm not entirely sure what might be happening there, because currently it's sort of stuck within this range. But I'm expecting the market to move down slightly, and it's sort of testing this upper level right now, and I think it might have broken down. It's testing this upper level and it's going to keep on moving downwards. But if it hits my stop loss, I'm basically going to have a look for a new entry point. But I have a feeling that this is just sort of causing a cloud, a bearish cloud cover. Market's trying to move down. That is more specifically because what I'm going to show you now. So also yesterday, posted on Tuesday, you can see we sent out some information. Let me just throw it up again here. Trading political ideas, so political trading strategy, trading the South African Rand. We did quite well on that yesterday. So if you want to go have a look at those as well, you can. So basically the trades that we're having a look at the moment, Aussie dollar, US dollar, you can see it's starting to perform relatively well. You can see the hedge position has been closed out. Basically, I closed out the hedge position. Let me just have a look now. I'm just going to use pips for you. So Aussie dollar, US dollar, the buy order was closed out at a 1 pip profit, and the swap was only 2 cents. So we basically walked away with 7 cents profit, which is very, very low. And basically that was specifically because I saw the market was turning at this point here. You could see there was a bearish breakout formation forming here, so I decided to close the position out, and then the market basically moved right into my favor. Currently this position is sitting in, the sell order is sitting in just on $1.90 profit, which is about 20 pips profit. Just sold it at 0.01 lot size. So this position, basically I'm having a look to see if the stochastic is going to move the market back downwards this way, because like I said to you, you can see it's sort of testing this lower support area quite a lot. So if it respects that lower support area well, we're going to see the market moving lower. But once again, US dollar. So let me have a look at what's coming out in the US dollar today. Forex economic calendar. Okay, so we've had some news coming out on, let me just pull this up for you. Okay, so having a look this morning, we've had some information coming out on the Australian pair. So obviously Aussie dollar was affected by that, and you can see there was a very strong sell-off so that's why the news wasn't incredibly good. We got the inflation report hearing coming out in 36 minutes, which obviously I'm going to be watching very closely because I have got 3 positions open on pound pairs. So I've got open on pound Japanese yen, and I've got open on euro pound as well. So obviously I'm going to have a look and see what might happen there. So in terms of what I've got open on the euro pound, I've got a sell order open on euro pound, meaning buying pound, hoping for pound to strengthen, and then pound Japanese yen, I've got a buy order open on that as well. I'm expecting Japanese yen, it's been gassed quite a lot, so I'm expecting it to move down a bit. Okay, so we've also got the EIA crude stocks change. I'm not trading oil too much. I traded quite heavily in July and did quite well on it. Not too interested in entering in on it right now, but I will have a look. I'll see if there's anything. We've got the New Zealand Bank interest rate decision, which is going to be very high. I might trade that on one of my breakout strategies. And then going into tomorrow, we've got quite a lot on Britain, on the Japanese yen, Australia, New Zealand, and the US. And then going into Friday, there's not much just on the US, and it's not going to be too much except for the consumer price index. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens there. So basically, this pair coming out for today, there's not too much that's going to be affecting it, but obviously what you're seeing here is after that massive sell-off, obviously the Australian news coming out wasn't too good. You've obviously got this recovery coming back up, but like I said to you, if we go back to test this limit, I'm fine with closing out that position. On that position, let me just have a look here. Aussie dollar, US dollar. Okay, we swapped down for 9 cents. So I've just got my profits, take profit, or my stop loss sitting on 9 cents profit, so I can break even on that position. But I can see that the EMA is being tested here, so I might see what might move lower. But as you can see here, if we go into the weekly chart, we've got a strong movement going lower. Obviously, this candlestick opened lower than the previous close, tested back up to the top, and now it's pulling back down. So obviously what I'm seeing is a target price area in this lower region here, traveling between this range, or we might see a test of this level over here. So obviously if we see a test of this level, that's going to be quite a good amount of pips that we can take, maybe 100 to 200 pips, just depending. Let's see what the measurement is, about 150 pips. So that's also what I'm having a look at to see if we can make some money off of that. So going into the next chart, obviously in the next 30 minutes, we've got the interest rate decision coming out. Let me just have a look again what it is. No, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, what have we got? Next 33 minutes, inflation report hearing. That's going to be very high. So if we've got some good news coming out on the inflation report hearing, obviously we're going to be seeing a very strong bearish move as well. But once again, the strong bearish move, I'm not actually too worried about what strong bearish move we might be forming, because excuse me, just having some coffee. Because if you have a look here, basically what we've got on the MFI, the money flow index, you can see price has been extremely overbought, so is the stochastic. And as you can see in the past, when we've had these series of serious overbought regions, it's been followed by a very strong bearish move. Obviously here, if you have a look at my trading plan that I sent out on Monday, I talk about all of these resistance areas, these support areas as well, and how I feel price is not going to break down. So basically you can see my stops are set very, very high. My hedged positions have also been closed out on this. So euro pound got closed out for a $4.89 profit. So they were closed out a little bit higher. You can basically see where I entered the second sell order over here, right up on the top. That's where I closed out my buy order, and I entered this additional sell order. But basically what I don't mind doing is holding these positions, because as you can see here, we've got this very long wick in this region, wicks in these regions, so we've got big spikes. So even if the euro pound news, even if this inflation report hearing comes out very bad, what we're going to probably see is a strong washout into this region here. We're going to see a big spike in price, followed by a spike back down to the lower. So basically, I don't mind doing that as well, because if price moves into this region anywhere above here, I'm basically going to be entering some very, very strong sell orders. I might not enter too much more on this account, because this account is exposed to quite a few different pairs, but I'll probably enter this position on my institutional account on a nice big sell order, and I'm going to hold it down to the bottom. So obviously that's what I'm having a look at, because also you can see the MACD obviously is losing a lot of momentum, wants to sort of find that region to go negative. So obviously that's a point that we're going to be having a look at as well. And in terms of the money flow index, lo and behold, I've seen pairs that should have been moving up, but because they were overbought, they turned around and they went bearish. You know, in terms of technical based trading, when you understand order flow and where the money is moving in the market, it will trump any fundamental idea. And it is a statistical and technical based strategy. But if everyone is putting in their sell orders, you're going to need to expect the sell orders. And in this region here, this region is going to be a strong sell order zone, and so is this region. This region, there are going to be a lot of take profits, a huge amount of people who have bought in this lower region here, because this, you can see, is a very strong technical support region right in the past year. So you would have had a lot of people enter buy orders here and put their take profits around this region. And what you're going to see is the market is going to fill out all of these take profits. It's going to enter those sell orders because it's searching for where those sell orders are. And a lot of the institutional traders, I kid you not, are going to have their positions in sell orders right in this region here. So you might see the market move up higher, wash those sell orders out, and pull straight back down. So obviously I am in on these positions here. So if I have a look at what my trade exposure is right now, okay, Aussie dollar, US dollar down to about 18 pips profit. So that is pulling back a little bit. I'm just having a look. Okay, $6.28 on the euro pound. Sorry, I'm just monitoring two different platforms here. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got a sell order open right up at the top. I managed to catch a strong wick on this bearish open. I basically opened it after it pierced back below this candle, and I could see, mainly because of the wick, the length of the wick, followed by how quick the body of this candle formed, I knew it was going to be a strong sell-off zone. So I entered my sell order, and now we're sitting $6.19 in profit. And obviously you can see the EMA is broken down on the hourly, and we've got price moving back down into this region. So obviously what I'm having a look at is for price to basically move down into this region here. Obviously you can see it's forming a slight bearish cloud cover. So what I'm basically having a look at is for price to keep on moving down here. What I have a funny suspicion that's happening is the market's just basically pricing in for the news that's going to be coming out. So depending on what the news might look like, if the news is good, we're going to see a strong sell-off to this region. I really feel that we can fill this gap of this buying spike here. I really feel we can have the market move down to this region again. And you know, it's very similar to what happened on the US dollar ZAR last night. We had a strong sell-off into this region, followed by a strong buy open into the other region. Sure, lots of people are trying to get hold of me today. Okay, let me just silence my phone. So basically we're pricing in for that hearing coming out. Let's just have a look again. 27 minutes. Okay, so we've got 27 minutes here left. So basically what I'm going to do is have a look at what's happening there. Obviously, if price spikes, like I said to you, if I find a washout into that upper region, I'm going to add to my positions. I'm going to leave these positions open at the moment. If I see that news is going to be really terrible, and we will have a spike, I'll just enter an additional buy order to cover these positions. So I'm not gonna, I can cover my losses, but I do know market is going to move bearish at some point in time. Going into pound Japanese yen, this is a slightly controversial position that I entered. I actually caught a falling knife, I must admit. So basically what I was having a look at on the hourly chart, and lo and behold, I did actually capitalize on one or two good positions on this. Let me have a look. Okay, I had one for $1, which is not too good at all, which is probably about 11 pips profit. And then I had an additional one for $5, 52 profit, which is about 50 pips. But basically, you can have a look here. I entered an additional buy order just before we opened up this, just before we started this video, because I saw there was a possibility for a double bottom here. I'm hoping for the market to turn back up, so we can go back up into the upper region. But basically what I was having a look at here is I was expecting for the market to find a strong retracement point over here in the MFI, but once again the MFI and the hourly is never always the strongest, and the market has kept on moving lower. So I did have a sell order open, which has obviously protected these positions. So even though these positions are in a loss, we've already made quite a good amount of profit going on the way down. And more specifically, if we have a look at the technical barriers on the daily, the technical barriers we can see are basically this bullish V wedge forming up. So we've got higher lows here. So we've got 3 higher lows. So higher low 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason why I'm saying higher low 1 is because you can see the market has been trending along this line strongly, and you could see it was really respecting that region a lot. So we've got number 1, number 2, number 3, and now we're hitting the 4th, followed by a parallel, basically on a horizontal line. We've had 3 tests of this horizontal line where we're expecting market to move all the way up here. So if we have a look, I drew a Fibonacci retracement point. I don't use them too much, but they do seem to work from time to time. We have got the Fibonacci here, and you can see our 61.8 region is right here. So we've had the candle wick pierce that region on the daily, and in terms of our stochastic, we are strongly oversold. So after quite a strong sell-off, obviously what I'm having a look at is markets move back up into this region, make us some good profit. And that is a big reason why I'm holding those buy orders. If it should market break below, I'll basically enter a few more sell orders, wait for market to move back down to this region, and cover those positions that will protect my losses, enter additional buy orders and hold up to the top until such time as I can close out everything either flat or slightly forward on the position. So basically what you can see here is I've got myself stuck in a position where I've got 2 positions in a loss. Yes, there are two entry positions. I'm slowly covering the position with profits, and slowly but surely, as you can see here, this position has gone into 20 pips profit since we started filming. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to work very carefully on making sure I can protect my losses, and I can come out of this position either flat on my position or slightly forward. And that is effectively how we work consistently with trading. Is often we will land up in opportunities where things are not going perfectly, but our main job is to deal with problem solving. You know, we got to deal with the issues, and we got to find out how to fix them properly, and that's what we're going to do here. So let's go on to the brainchild of this talk. I can't even find the brainchild. Here we go. Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar, we have got information coming out here. So what I feel is that we've got Euro US dollar moving into a bearish move. So obviously US dollar has been the talk of the town. People say it is sliding strong, and they're not sure when it's going to come back. And as you can see, slowly but surely, you'll find talk of the town is easy to spot, and talk of the town tends to work really well when you're following it. And if you've had a look, if you follow the news, you know, I watch Bloomberg at least 4 or 5 hours a day, and you could see going into the past couple of weeks, there's been many analysts coming on board saying US dollar's sliding, US dollar's sliding, US dollar's sliding, and a lot of people were saying that it had room to move lower. Now you can see in the past 2 weeks, they've had quite a few analysts come on board saying they feel US dollars bottomed out. It's going to slowly become a buy opportunity. It's going to become an opportunity for a strong retracement. Now, obviously, you're going to see the market react to that, and that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing a lot of people entering in on the positions. Maybe if it's even speculative positions, they are trying to find their way in. And what you're going to see is a lot of institutional investors finding a way to buy dollar again, because quite a few of the American businesses, they do hold dollar in order to invest in the equities market. And that's also a big thing that you might not realize. Say, for example, we've got an international fund and they want to go invest in the German market. What are they going to do? They're going to sell their dollars and they're going to go buy euro, and then they're going to use those euros to invest in the German stock market. And that is how the world runs in terms of investing with hedge funds and institutional funds. So let's have a look at the US market. Now the Dow Jones has hit a record highs, just got topped off the record highs this week. But basically we hit like a 22,000 point record high. And back when we were at 18,000 points in 2016, people were like, no, it's never going to go higher than this. The stock market is getting frighteningly strong inside the US. Tech companies are doing incredibly well, and a lot of other companies are doing well. But now we have to say, okay, what are these institutional guys investing with? Well, they're investing with US dollar. And that's what they're trying to find their way in. They need to have a funding currency so they can invest in stocks and companies inside the US. So you can see a lot of them, even though they're investing in US dollar, being able to hold US dollar in the US and have such a sliding factor here on the US dollar. They obviously all want the dollar to strengthen because they've lost a lot of money in their exchange rate holding a dollar that's been weakening over the past 2 to 3 months. They want it to turn around, and believe me, they will focus on making sure it turns around. So what you're going to see is the second they find a signal point for the US dollar to strengthen, they're going to move all of their money into the US dollar and they're going to push it very strongly. And that's when you see big institutional moves. You see guys that are going to step into the market with a few $100 million, a few $1 billion, and they're going to try and push the market in a single direction. So lo and behold, yes, this is a speculative point that I'm making. But I think if you take some time to have a look at the trading plan that I put up, and you take some time to understand what we're looking at on the euro US dollar, I think that we could have an opportunity for this to move lower on a very strong platform, maybe move down to this region here, and hopefully we'll be able to have a look at a profitable margin. If we have a look on the weekly here, obviously you can see strong levels of support and resistance, and you can see here things are incredibly oversold. You can see the stochastic is trying to find its way back down. You can see it's formed that sort of big bullish wick on the candle. A body closed very low, and now you've got this new body opening quite low. And I feel into the close of the week we're going to see a very strong candle coming out. Look, the economic news that came out last week from the US was very strong, and I think that the consumer price index going into Friday is going to create a very, very strong slide in the market. You tend to find a lot of people that go into the weekends, they will, when very strong news comes out, the market slides much faster than expected. So I think if we have very strong CPI numbers coming out on Friday, we're going to have the euro US dollar slide very bearish. We're going to have the US dollar strengthen a huge amount, and that's effectively what I'm waiting on. So basically you can see here I've got buy orders open, I've got a larger sell order, so I'm covering my position just in case. But basically my focus is going to be to add to this position if we have very strong CPI numbers coming out in the US, and I feel we can hold this back down for at least 2 or 3 weeks on a sell order. Once again, everyone, please make sure to have a look at the trading plan. It is free to download as well, so you can actually have a look at what we are putting together every single day on our trading. Let's just have a recap on the positions. We are down to $1.48 on Aussie dollar US dollar, so that has moved lower a little bit. Our buy order in Japanese yen has moved up to 32 pips profit. We've got the Euro British pound doing quite well. So we're going into some good numbers for the day. We've already closed out some orders this morning, and yesterday was also an incredibly good day. So hopefully we're going to have a strong day today. Just to give you some FYI, if you all want to find out what we actually do at MS Equities, we teach people how to trade, invest, manage their wealth just like we do. What we are doing, we're looking for talent in the market. For myself as well, I also back quite a few of my students with my own portfolios, so they're actually able to get the opportunity to manage money like a professional trader would. So if you want to find out about what we do, our training programs, you can see down below. We have academy access and scholarships, so we do offer a hugely discounted price to anyone under the age of 25. Ambassadors program, if you'd like to work for us, we've got some information up there. And in order to contact us, just drop us your name, email address, cell phone number, and a message about what you want to talk to us about. We'll make sure to get back to you as soon as we can. Once again, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great time trading the Euro, US dollar, and all the other markets. We will make sure to see you in the next video. Cheers for now.